Hello everyone, Sonia Walker here with part 3 of my creation of a wedding photo, Allison Eddie Green. On the last video, I talked about creating this picture or this painting of my grandparents as a gift for my aunts and uncle and my mother for a memorial program. My grandfather and my grandmother are deceased, and we're doing a memorial celebration for them. And I was asked by my nephew to create this wedding photo because they never had a wedding picture taken together, so this would be a gift to the children of Alice and Eddie in order to celebrate their union. But on the last segment, I hadn't quite completed this much of the painting. I think I only had the shirt, part of the shirt, the shirt and part of the jacket, and I've done a lot more painting since the last time I made the video, but I promised that I would give a little bit more demonstration of how I do what I do. But first I would like to say Eddie's skin tone, I am using a reference or a picture to base his complexion. This is my nephew Tony, and they basically were similar in complexions, and so I'm using Tony's example to help guide me with matching Eddie's complexion. But the photo that I'm using to create Eddie is from a picture of an old drawing that I did years ago, I think when I was in my early 20s or late teens, for my uncle. But we didn't have the actual photograph that I used then, so I'm using a picture of a drawing that that I did, that combined with Tony's references. This is what I am creating. So, and also I am using a reference from that I got from the internet as a guide to put them in this pose or position them in this pose, because, you know, not having a wedding photo, I had to create something. So I saw this online and I love the way they were positioned or posed, and decided to use this as the basis for the wedding photo. And so now what I'm going to do is to give you a little example of how I apply my paint. First, I would like to say this is an oil painting, and some of the colors that I'm using, well, there are basically only 5 colors that I'm using, and this is the Winsor Newton Ivory Black. I'm using the Burnt Umber, which is a kind of a deep dark brown. I'm using Yellow Ochre. I think that's how you pronounce it. Also Burnt Sienna, which is kind of a medium brown pigment, and Titanium White. But those 5 colors are the colors that I am using to create Eddie's complexion. And so right now, what I want to do is to show you a little bit on how I lay down the paint. So I'm working on the eye currently, but with doing or painting an eye is never completely white as people would think it is. So what I'm doing is using a little bit of gray, because if you look closely, and sometimes in our eyes, you can see, because of the volume, I guess, of the size of the eye, you get a little grayish tone. You never get pure white. So what I'm seeing is a little gray in his eyes, and then that combined with a little bit of white, and also I'm seeing a little reddish kind of sepia tone color in the corner of his eyes, using Tony's picture as a reference. This is what I decided to apply to Eddie. And many times people in my family would tell Tony that he looks so much like our grandfather, so using him as a reference is very helpful to me in this aspect. I think because the eyes are a little bit more tedious, I'm going to move on to the outside color of the eyes, and that would be over the lid. Well, that would be actually the lid. So I applied a little bit of the browns. Not quite matching this color. And when using, I don't typically use an art palette to lay down, to put my paint on. I typically like to, I'm kind of a little frugal, so I typically like to use a old paper plate with some aluminum foil. And so this is how I put my paint down on my paper. Very inexpensive way to use some of your products. But then, okay, back to the demonstration. And so with the combination of yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, these are the colors that I'm using to apply the paint to create Eddie. And this will take me a minute to do. I like to take my time when it comes to working on a painting, because I'm, in addition to painting the reference, I'm also studying the picture, so I can pick up little intricate details that the normal or typical eye would normally see. Right now, remembering my grandfather, I can see a little resemblance. I think I was in my 20s when he passed away, and I remember how he looked. So this is coming real similar to how my grandfather looked. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little taste of how I lay down my paint. I'm not going to go through the whole demonstration because this would be a very, very, very long video, unless you are interested in sitting for hours at a time to see how I do this. I know you're not. But anyway, this is Sonia Walker. Thank you for watching. The fourth and final video will be a completed painting and a little bit more demonstration probably on Alice as to how I do what I do with this creation of a wedding photo. But thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more information and more instructional videos on art. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.